Okay, so this is a preview of an upcoming kit bashing and 3D sculpting app for the for VR. I know there are other ones out there. This one's mine. So we have a 3D object, 3D, what do you want to call it? A gizmo here that lets you set things like rotation locking and position locking and mirroring. And so I've got mirroring turned on right now. And I'm going to, I've grabbed an object that I'm going to use, and I'm just going to put that right here. Now, I don't know what I'm going to build. That's kind of the part of the whole point of this is just kind of to make it fun to build stuff in VR. So a lot of the controls in this are designed to be not things you navigate through a menu. There is a menu, but most of it is stuff that you learn, how to use, and then you can use it without the menu. So in this case, I have a snapping feature. I hold down the A button, and it will snap objects based on what I set in the B button. So here in the B, I have, for example, I've turned off rotation on each of these axes. So when I, so actually, this is a kind of interesting feature. When rotation's off, it will actually let you rotate, but it'll snap automatically to 15-degree increments. So if I hold down the button here, it's going to snap. And if I rotate it a little bit and do it again, you'll notice it's a very slight little snap. And it's going to snap to those 15-degree increments. So this lets me very easily line up pieces perfectly if I wanted to. Now, the other thing you'll notice is when I move my hand around like this, I'm not getting any kind of rotation on that axis because I'm holding down the A button. If I let go of it, I can move that around. These controllers right now are just stand-in models. At some point, I'm going to put a control in here that shows you what buttons you're holding down. That'll be a little more intuitive for watching videos, certainly. So the other thing you can do is you can scale the object up and down using up and down on the joystick. But if you push it to the joystick to the right, you can release the brush and move your hand around. And then when you release the joystick, it re-grabs at that location. So this lets you, if you're making something and you're like, oh, well, actually, I want to have a thing like this. You don't have to turn your hand upside down. You can just release it and do your hand like this a couple of times. And now you've got the brush in a completely different orientation. Or if you want to have your brush way over there, you can do that. Just like that. So that's a really useful feature. The other thing is I was trying to figure out a good way to let you scale an object in kind of irregularly. And so you can push it forward and backward to scale it based on the current scale. But if you push the joystick to the left, you get these three little dots that represent the different axes that and the center of the object. And so if you wanted to resize something in a different direction or on a different axis or something like that, scale it in that direction, you can do that. So now we have that same object, but it's stretched out like this. And so, and of course, this is a work in progress. So if you see something that looks a little wonky, that's probably why. So that gives me the full range of things I can do with the joystick. And then the snapping is done by holding the A button. And I'm going to add more snapping features that will allow you to do things like this. So I already have mirroring, and we have snapping to 15-degree increments and snapping on an axis, right? So, for example, if I wanted to create something, I don't know what this is. Let's say I wanted to have something come off of this like this. Now, right now, axis snapping is, or axis movement snapping is limited to the world axis, but I'm going to add the ability to snap to the object axis. But in this case, I want it to only move across this green line here. So I'm going to turn this one, I'm going to lock this one, and I'm going to lock this one. So now when I go back in here, I'm going to undo those. If I wanted to do that again, I can, oops, let's do this. I'm going to snap it first, holding down the button, and actually I'm going to bring this thing up and kind of try to align my motions with that line there, so I know kind of what direction I'm going in. And there we go. So I'm going to try that. And if I hold down that button, it should snap right along that. And as you can see, I can get pretty good scale there. I mean, pretty good alignment there. And the cool thing about that is, since it's the world axis, if I wanted to, I can actually expand this by holding down both grabby buttons and expanding the hell out of it. And now it's real big. And I'm just going to go over here to the end. I'm going to expand my brush so that it's roughly the same size. I do need to add a feature to match the world scale for the brush. And now if I hold down that button, it's going to snap me right there. My hand's real jittery there. It'll snap me right there at that. So that's real smooth along that axis now. There we go. Now I have other snapping things I need to do. I do, obviously, I would love to have the ability to snap the control to the last thing that you did, and to surfaces also. So that's planned. I just don't have it working yet. But this is really cool if you're trying to do something like this, where you have like a ring object and you want it to go around something like you're holding something. You can do that very easily. Go to this one. You may be wondering, what's the point of doing this when AI tools are starting to be able to create 3D models so well? Well, the simple reason is you don't always get what you want with the AI tools, and this is fun. And even if the AI tools could do everything better and faster than me, I'm still going to want to do stuff like this because it's fun. And because I'm creating exactly what I wanted, even though in this case I have no idea what I want. Let's see, where'd that other sprue go? Did I have another one? Let's grab the mechwarrior one. Okay, so these are from a kitbash kit for mechwarrior, supposedly. Let's see what that looks like. I haven't really gone through this one too much. That's a pretty cool little shape. Yeah. Okay, so maybe this is a space station, or maybe it's a gun. I don't know. Space stations and guns, man. In VR, or in 3D, sci-fi at least, space stations and guns basically look the same as spaceships too. See, you have here's what I'm talking about. If we go down here, I like this one. What is this? A little camera thing. Okay. All right, little camera dude. Let's see. We'll put that here. Okay. So if this is up here, and it's like this is a space station. If it's like this, it's a spaceship. And if it's like this, it's a gun. Anyway, that's the basic gist of the program at the moment and some of the features right now. I'll be doing a few more of these videos as I finish up the core features. And if you have anything that you think I should have in a kit bashing app, I'm really curious to see what you suggest, and I'll put it in there. The whole point of this is to create something that's fun and intuitive that you can build real 3D objects in, and then export them for games or whatever you want to make them for, or movies, or even to 3D print. And the really cool thing about that part is that if you are using watertight 3D models as your kitbash parts, everything you export is going to be printable. You're not going to have any kind of weird polygon issues because everything's kind of pre-vetted, you know? So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But I've always wanted to make something like this. I've always thought something like this would be really cool to have that's just centered around kit bashing mostly. I'm going to have some basic stuff in there. If you know me, you know that I love voxel stuff. So I'm going to have some voxel. I'll have a voxel engine in there that lets you create objects and some polygon editors and stuff like that. But generally speaking, the whole point of this is going to be kit bashing. That's the basic thing. So if there are any other features you think a kit bashing app needs to have, let me know. And I look forward to seeing what you have to say. All right, thanks. Have a great day.